This is James Bartholomew, and I would like to explore points where our Bartholomew ancestors' lives have intersected with history. Today we will look at the history of Yale University and our direct ancestor, the Reverend James Pierpont, who was involved in its foundation and early formative years. Yale is one of the oldest universities in the United States and a member of the prestigious Ivy League. In 1701, the Connecticut legislature adopted the Act for Liberty to erect a collegiate school with the goal of creating an institution to train ministers and lay membership. Once adopted, a group of 10 congregational ministers, all Harvard alumni, met in the study of Reverend Samuel Russell in Branford, Connecticut to donate books to form the school's library. This group, led by Reverend James Pierpont, is now known as the founders of Yale. Reverend Pierpont was responsible for writing the charter for this institution to become a school. Known from its origin as the collegiate school, it was first housed on donated land with a building in Saybrook, Connecticut. In 1716, the school was moved to New Haven, where it stands today. In 1718, a Boston-born businessman, Elihu Yale, was asked for the money to construct a new building for the college. Yale had made a fortune working for the East India Company and was involved in slave trade. He is my first cousin 9 times removed. Although he was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and lived there in his youth, he spent the rest of his life in England, Wales, and India. Yale donated 9 bales of goods, 417 books, and a portrait of King George I with his coat of arms to the school. The goods were sold for more than 560 pounds, which is approximately $60,000 in today's terms, and the school changed its name to Yale College. Eli Yale is still remembered in the Yale fight song, which is called Bulldog, after their mascot, and refers to the alums as being the sons of Eli Yale. Yale's only son died at the age of 4.
When the sons of Eli break through the line, that is the sign we hail. Bulldog, bulldog, wow, 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 Eli Yale.
James Pierpont was born in Roxbury, Massachusetts on January 4th, 1659. He was one of 5 children born to John and Thankful Pierpont. James is my 6th great-grandfather through Clara Tuttle Bartholomew. His father, John Pierpont, was born in London in 1619, came to America in about 1640, purchased 60 acres in Massachusetts, and was a mill owner, as well as serving as a Roxbury town officer and a deputy to the general court before his death in 1682. His son, James Pierpont, attended Roxbury Latin School, which still stands, and Hartford College in Massachusetts. He was ordained a Congregationalist minister on July 2nd, 1685. The Congregationalists have their origins in the theological traditions of the original Puritan settlers who were English Protestants from the 16th and 17th centuries and sought to rid the Church of England of what they considered to be Roman Catholic practices. In addition to being one of Yale's founders, the Reverend James Pierpont served as its trustee from October 16th, 1703 until his death in 1714, which is before the renaming of the school to Yale and its relocation to New Haven. His residence was known as the Pierpont Mansion. which was a social and intellectual center in early New Haven. The house itself is no longer standing, but is intertwined with the founding and development of the city of New Haven. The house of his grandson is still a landmark in New Haven. Reverend Pierpont was married 3 times. He married his first wife, Abigail Davenport, in 1691, but she died shortly thereafter from a cold she caught after their marriage. His second wife was Sarah Haynes, but she died after giving birth to their only child, Abigail Pierpont. Mary Hooker became his third wife in 1698. Reverend Pierpont and Mary Hooker had 8 children, which include our direct ancestor, Joseph Pierpont. Mary was a daughter of Reverend Samuel Hooker and granddaughter of Reverend Thomas Hooker, chief founder of the colony of Connecticut. Apart from the Bartholomew Tuttle line, the descendants of Reverend James Pierpont include U.S. Vice President Aaron Burr, who dueled and killed Alexander Hamilton, financier John Pierpont or J.P. Morgan, and songwriter James Lord Pierpont, best known for Jingle Bells. James Pierpont was buried in the Center Church on the Green in New Haven. The 16-acre New Haven Green was established in 1638 to provide a common grazing yard for the young colony. The green also served as the city's first burial ground until 1821. The green eventually became too crowded to continue as the chief burial ground. As a result, the gravestones were moved to the Grove Street Cemetery a few blocks away, leaving as many as 5,000 bodies remaining below the soil of the green. Locals and Yale students are advised to be on lookout for ghosts. Over the years, people have reported shadowy or misty figures that have disappeared when they approach. I have personally visited both the Grove Street Cemetery and the New Haven Green. As a word of advice, be careful, or you may get booed.